Is shot in the district on average 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes they're innocent victims. Sometimes police say they were targeted. Often the suspects are also juveniles.
Killings and shootings involving our children here in D.C. have outraged all of us. The victims are getting younger and younger, and it's happening more often.
Nearly 50 young people have been shot so far this year in the district. Most of the victims are male and African American, and the majority of those shootings are happening in just 2 quadrants of the city.
As of last Friday, the district has registered more than 820 carjackings so far this year. Nearly 3 out of every 4 carjackings in D.C. involve guns, according to police data.
D.C. police data show the majority of those shot are young males who are black. 43 of 48 victims are African American. That's nearly 90%. And nearly 80% are boys. 38 of the 48.
Yo, what it is, people, we is back. Another day on Keep It G News. I got a serious question, man, especially for all my guys in the DMV, man. What in the hell is going on down there? Straight up, yo. D.C., PG County included, it's out of control right now. Out of control, man. You got juveniles running rampant. So my question is, what the fuck is the problem? You know what I mean? What is the problem, yo? Because you can't blame it, or we can't blame it on the system, you know? Can't blame it on the police. So what's going on with the parents and the adults in D.C.? Now, I can admit, it's a problem in D.C. with the music. You know, people in D.C., I ain't heard nobody else from D.C. admit that yet. I'm just on the outside looking in, but I can see it glaring because I cover cases or situations in different cities. And in every city where I know this offspring of drill music exists, see the same thing. Juveniles running wild. So, in this video, I want y'all to hear this conversation, man. And shout out to DC Artists on Instagram, man. I got this from them, man. I know they follow my channel. And, I want y'all to hear this conversation, man, between these kids, man. And I want to know how y'all feel about it.
He's saying he's rather commit murder than commit armed robbery.
Yeah.
You are the dumb.
Oh, no, you ain't saying armed robbery.
Armed robbery is what we're doing.
No, it's not. It's armed robbery and armed carjacking, dummy.
It's the same thing. That's lower than murder.
It's both of them combined.
That's lower than murder.
That's higher than murder.
But no, you
You're
know what
taking a
murder,
human life.
that's a gun charge. Murder is a gun charge. Possession of a gun, murder, first degree murder. That's like 8 charges in one case. You dumb as shit.
Bro, whoever's the driver, if I know they know how to drive, they gonna get away from 12. I'm bending with them. You hear me? If I feel like the nigga not gonna get away, I'm not hopping in with them. No doubt. You hear me?
He sound dumb.
Just saying, bro.
He sound dumb. You just saying you rather take a human life that you get life with than robbing that you get 12 years.
Bro, once you get hit, bro, you don't always survive.
So I looked at it at first, I'm like, damn, yo, what the fuck is going on? You feel me? Then I thought about it, like I remember when I was about 15 or something, you feel me? I might have had the same type of conversation, but these kids is younger than that, obviously. Look, maybe about 12, 13, you know? But I can admit, in our community, we got kids that jump off the porch even younger than that. But my question, like I said, is what's going on with the adults? Because it's obvious that these kids don't know nothing they're talking about. Absolutely nothing. Now, I know I got a following on my channel from age 17 to 24, you know. And those would be the age range that can reach these kids. And I've admitted on my channel before, when I was young, I misled some. So I don't even blame the older little kid that was recording them. You know, he don't know. But this is a situation where you got kids raising kids. But my question is, where's the adults? Where's their parents? Because, did y'all hear what the boys said, man? All of them. Ain't none of them know what they was talking about. You got one kid basically saying that armed robbery and armed carjacking is worse than murder. Even though armed robbery and carjacking can lead to murder. You know? And that's the thing. You hear these kids talking. Even the one kid talking about, I ain't getting in the car unless they know how to drive and they can get away from 12. But I had a case in my city, man. And shout out to my little man Andre from my podcast, man. I know he followed my channel. And he know this case. You know, this case was close to him. And he can give you a better analysis on how he felt and how their family felt behind this whole situation. But it was some kids in my city, in my neighborhood, you know, stealing cars. You feel me? Now, me on the outside looking in, because I wasn't really that close to all of them, like these was real kids, like 12, 13, 14, you know, 15, 16 years old. I was more closer to the 18, you know, 17, 19, you know. I had a good relationship with that age range of the juveniles in Park Heights community. But these kids was a lot younger, you know, they was their little mans. And these kids was stealing cars. And one of the things I noticed when they come through in their cars, right, is the neighborhood to salute them. Neighborhood to salute them. Damn, shorty, man, y'all stay on some, you know. Now you had some people, like my man, like one of my other mans, you feel me, that was talking to him. But when the general consensus of giving them props is what's prevalent in the neighborhood, then that one or two people that's talking sense to them, they ain't paying them no mind because they're being saluted. They're getting the attention that they want because it's all about attention, you know. That's the thing when you're dealing with impoverished people. We want attention because we feel left out. Now, who's to blame on that? I don't know. But I'm just giving y'all the real on how these things happen. And this is what happened to them
Ride
kids.
in a stolen car ends with the death of 2 Baltimore teenagers after a violent crash. The teens are just 13 and 16 years old. WJZ is live tonight. George Solis with the very latest on this investigation. George?
Well, police just released the names of the 2 dead teens as Cornell Gilbert and Saeed Brinkley. Police say the teens were driving around in a stolen BMW, the crash occurring after police tried to pull the car over. A late-night gut-wrenching scene captured on camera.
The car was split in half.
Police tell WJZ the deadly crash was the end result of 4 teens who decided to steal the car. A 16 and 13-year-old were killed in the collision.
People will talk about, well, it was a stolen car. That's beside the point. There are 2 families that are grieving the loss of their loved ones.
The other 2 teens were unharmed. Police say their search for the car started after it was reported stolen early Wednesday. A WJZ viewer gave us these pictures of the crash. They show the mangled mess of twisted metal.
The leg was scattered everywhere.
Body parts were everywhere?
Yeah.
Members of the community call it a tragedy.
It makes my stomach curl to hear these things happen to children.
Evidence of a scene so gruesome still remains. The commotion so loud it woke one man from his sleep.
It was so loud, like everybody was around.
Police are still investigating. Criminal charges for the surviving 2 teens are also
Now
pending.
remember, when news broke at Park Heights that Lil Saeed and them died in this car crash, you know, it was sad. You know, a lot of people, you know, it was a somber day in the Park Heights community around that time, for, you know, on the Queensbury block. You know, everybody was you know, because a lot of people felt they could have done more. You feel me? A lot of people felt like, damn, they was riding through here and we was congratulating them and you know, and saluting them, but really should have been talking to them. Now, you factor this into with this 12-year-old or 13-year-old kid, because I'm going to give him age. I think that's around the age he is. That was talking about he only going to deal with drivers. And you factor that into the things that I said previously about these kids. They never brace for the plan B. They will never have a plan B. In his mind, he think just because, you know, because they're young, their brain's still developing. But in shorty mind, he think just because somebody can drive, then there won't ever be a situation where he run through a red light and the car's coming. And everybody in the car lose their life. And the people that don't lose their life be severely damaged physically or mentally or both. It's not a game when you're dealing with stealing cars. Especially when I didn't cover these type of cases in D.C. before.
This, except for what it is, a tragedy. We first told you about this happening on Saturday. Police say Karan Blake was shot multiple times after a homeowner saw him allegedly breaking into cars. This happened Saturday at around 4 a.m. on Quincy Street and Michigan Avenue in Northeast. That's down the street from Brookland Middle School.
An outpouring of grief on social media for a mild-mannered middle schooler who just last week was gripping this book about peacemaker Gandhi. Sadly, 13-year-old Karan Blake was violently killed early Saturday morning, shot multiple times by a man only being identified as a homeowner. And the
Teenager shot and killed in D.C. How many times have we said that? It is news we've delivered a lot lately. Tonight, 7 News D.C. Bureau Chief Sam Ford has Corey Riggins Jr.'s story and the story of those who tried to save him.
It was 4 years ago this week we saw 15-year-old Corey Riggins Jr. among the trauma survivors in a program at George Washington Hospital. He wouldn't talk to us, but embraced his surgeon, Dr. Babak Sarani.
I still, to this day, have a picture of him and that hug we talked about on my iPhone.
Early Sunday morning, his patient was shot dead in Southeast.
Although I was sad, I can't say I was surprised.
In fact, Corey, age 19, was shot every year in some incident. 4 different shootings in all. His father. I lost my baby forever. His family says they're devastated. Mom.
Like I told his dad, let's save a child. Let's save our son. Let's get him out of D.C.
They say the city offered programs to help.
Say, Dad, I don't need that. I don't need that. Say, Dad, I don't need no program.
Grandmother.
I saw him walking down the street one day with some fellas, and I said, come here, where you going? He said, I'm going with my friends. I said, let Grandma tell you something. You don't have any. Those guys are not your friend.
His family said since childhood he was part of a trio. Malik, Stefan, Corey. They say Stefan, now Corey, dead. Malik, a murder case against him.
Watch as the team behind the wheel floors the stolen car.
She's stealing their car. He's stealing the car? Yeah, we called the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops.
After hearing the crash, the witness recording everything starts running and finds the car up the block flipped on its side and the 2 teens climbing out of the mangled vehicle.
These girls stole the car. Hey, they stole the car. They stole the car.
The suspect expresses concern for her cell phone. The victim...
I done covered at least 3 or 4 cases of juveniles being murdered in D.C. or juveniles catching wild cases trying to steal cars in D.C. But yet the juveniles in D.C. are still doing it. So the question is, what's missing? You know, what are the parents saying? Y'all not showing this to y'all kids? Like, I don't understand. How did it get so bad the way as though you got exuberant, yeah, I'm going to use exuberant, a large amount of cars being stolen in D.C. yearly. I just talked to my man. He said he was passing out air tags when he was working out D.C. That's how bad it is. They're giving them away for free. That means the state is funding it. Or D.C., I don't know, the government is funding it. It's that big of a problem. But when you got kids talking like how these kids is talking, it's like, God damn, what's really going on? Because I don't know. That's my question to my people in D.C. What is really going on? And I told y'all before, yo, when you talk about, well, you got to raise your kids right. That's good and fine and dandy. You know, you do have to raise your kids right. But if you still got neighborhood kids moving and thinking like this, what the fuck good is it? If you raising yours right or not, they still gonna get caught in that mix. Yo, we got a duty and obligation as a community, and people might not like to hear this, but you gotta, when you see these kids, yo, you gotta say something to them, yo. You got to, yo. You can't allow children to raise children. How many of us that went into the street life grew up that way? Where you got a whole group of guys, no fathers around, and we just learning from each other, piggybacking off each other. That is a recipe for disaster, and most children that grew up like that do not make it to 30. I'm going to keep it real. Either they mark their self out by going to prison, or they get killed early in the game. But let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments. How do y'all feel about this conversation, man? Like, these kids are way off. if you kill somebody, especially in DC, more than likely, you're going to do a lot of time in the feds. Might get life. No parole. Life plus 40. You talking if you venture off into Maryland and, you know, end up in PG County. Life for the murder. 20 years for a pistol charge. Or handgun and commission of a felon. They normally give you 2 of them. I'm telling y'all, this is what they do. This is what I had on my charge papers. Life for the murder. 20 years for each pistol charge. Life plus 40. You talking about an armed carjacking. 25 years, 15 years. Armed robbery. 10, maybe 15, about the same. Depends on what happened. If you rob and murder somebody, you dealing with death penalty type stuff. You know, that's felony murder in Maryland. I don't know what they call it in DC. And I always say this, y'all, if you're going to be in the streets, know the laws, man. Know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So you don't end up like Rilo. Now you locked up, and now you trying to figure out a way out. Nah. Stand on what you stand on. Know the consequences of your actions. Now, you can't expect that from a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, but goddamn, it got to be somebody around there that can say something to them. They do know. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments. Just keep it G.
Nigga can't do what I do, y'all niggas can't copy me. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep the shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G.